Alice VIP?
That was Alice. Alice was delivering that claim to Bob. Now, one of the whole reason Sovrin uses zero knowledge proofs is because you establish those pairwise DIDs. The DIDs she has from any issuer of any claim do not matter anymore. She keeps those pairwise synonymous with those issuers. She can take any claim she's been issued and now produce that in zero, we call them compound proofs. Take claims from multiple issuers, from credentials she has from multiple issuers, and put together a proof of those to the other party that she has a pairwise DID with.
So, is this split? It's not bound to a specific year. So, if you are able to still explain
the claim isn't bound to a DID, but it is bound to a linking secret that is blinded when she gives it to the issuer, and it's again blinded when it's given to the relying party. But the way the crypto magic, she can prove that it was bound to the same value, even though it's not revealing the value.
So with zero knowledge crypto, it's the link secret that is what you use to do correlation, that they're all yours. And it's that link secret, by the way, that is the number one reason. If someone, you want to share credentials under this approach, you have to share your link secret, which is basically like saying, yeah, I'm willing to share my coffee loyalty card with Devin. I'm sorry, Devin, that's the only way I can do it.
But that link secret isn't signed by the DID?
No. So yeah, you share your link secret, you share everything. It's not actually a key, but it's the most important thing that you want to keep secret and backed up. Because that's how you cryptographically prove all of those credentials are yours.
And you can revoke this
Your link secret?
No. I mean, you can revoke the credentials that were bound with it. So you can go to the issuer and tell them, like, I've lost my stuff. And we're exploring some ideas about how to deal with that.
But the link is linking the claims itself, or is it linking the two DIDs?
No,
It's linking to your like capital I identity. Like, so if you have a credential from the DMV and you have a credential from your bank, they're linked together, and you can show that they came from they were issued to the same identity.
But that means every future claim coming from them. So even if the claim is revoked, if I have the link secret, I can always continue to say I'm the same.
No, there's two things. There's a controlled link secret, and then you have to issue the proofs from an authorized device. So you've got the link secret, you've got the device. So if the device is stolen, you revoke that device, but you don't give the link secret. Now, if the link secret is stolen, that is a more serious compromise, and we're still working on how you're going to do it.
Is the link secret bound to the Bob in this case? That connection, or is it bound to?
It's not bound to any of your DIDs. It's not bound to any of your credentials. It's bound to all of the credentials you have issued to you from the issuers that you give that link, the blinded link secret to. It's how you basically prove it's, as Devin says, capital I identity. That's really neat. And you don't have to have just one link secret. Life is a lot simpler if you do.
That's what we're talking about. What's the relationship link secret to what? To a connection to?
No, that's the point. It's not specific to any connection. It's not specific to any credential. It literally is the abstraction of, that's what it said, capital I identity. It is that thing you hold that allows you to prove that all these connections, all these credentials were issued to you. You control them without giving up any specific DID or credential or signature that would be correlatable.
Yeah, does it then suffer from the biometric type of problems in that it can't easily be revoked?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
why
need to
why
revoke
did you
everything
decide
I
to
ever
use the
had,
link secret?
correct?
Because the link secret allows you to maintain your privacy.
No. Why did you decide to use one secret rather than using a set of private keys that are associated with DIDs? Like, now I hear
Because you'd have to, because when you rotate your private keys, you'd have to go have the issuer reissue all your credentials. So you'd have to go back to the DMV, go back to your bank, go back to Walgreens or whatever, to every credential you've ever received and have them reissued, because it
But I already
is bound.
have their signatures I can look up on the ledger, right?
No, because the link secret is bound inside of the credential. Like it's not, it's,
okay.
it's like it's bound inside of it, so it's committed in there, so that when you go produce proof, you can show that you haven't changed this bound attribute, and you can also prove that I know the thing that was bound in there,
But isn't
and so you
that
can
why
do it
we
through.
want the link secret different for each relationship?
Well, no, what you do is you blind the link secret as you give it to different
Yeah,
issuers.
it's blinded.
So you have the same underlying link secret, that's how you can prove you control them all, but you give a blinded version to each issuer, so they can't correlate on it.
Yeah, so it's not going to look the same to the issuers, but you can do a zero knowledge proof that I know the actual secret and it was bound in this credential, and I'm probably not explaining it very well, but and that I know it, but I'm not going to actually show it to either party.
Do you
Right.
rotate that link secret, or is that
You
just
don't
correlated
rotate,
with your master?
you don't rotate the link secret.
Not
Yeah, it's-
currently.
But is that correlated with your master private key that controls your key?
No, that's the thing is that's why when we talk about wallets, we talk about private keys and other secrets, mostly the link secret, because the keys get rotated, the link secret doesn't. Link secret is how you show that continuity of any claim, any credential was issued to you. You can rotate the keys, the issuers can rotate keys, but you can maintain that continuity of identity through the link secret.
And that-
I would say once the
But
link
isn't that
secret is
one-
out, then you need to revoke every claim ever had and get all of it.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
pretty sad.
Well, isn't that
It
one-to-one with my master password for my keyring?
You can
No.
look at it as some, but it's not something that the user will ever directly interact. However, they unlock their wallet on their different devices is a higher level of security there.
Yeah, but it is one-to-one though, right? Like the way you're describing.
It
I
is-
tell you
Because
what,
the keys that are generated on the keyring will assist the master password unlocks all of them. That you didn't handle the key exchange is the secret.
I'm
Like
not
why-
quite sure what you're asking, but
Maybe
I mean,
I'll read
this
it.
is
I'll
how
read
the
whatever you guys got.
you know,
You
another
have-
credential
you
protocol.
have-
I'm happy to talk.
let's
more
try and
about it
keep
later.
going to
You-
get through the balance of the demo, or else we're going to run out of time.
You're gonna run out of time.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
You have
I mean,
15 minutes.
it does feel like you can revoke the link secret by just telling a specific provider that, hey,
You could-
my
yeah.
link secret here is a new blinded,
You would do that, and they would reissue the credential.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's kind of a mess because now all your
Yeah.
things are revoked, but at least
Kind
someone
of,
can't
it's kind of
impersonate you.
equivalent to like if you lose your wallet, it's a real pain, and so you know it's painful, but it is possible.
Yeah.
All right.
Adrian, what was your question? I didn't hear all of that. You asked a question about
Go ahead.
the same problem.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure it was a well-posed question. It has the characteristics of a biometric, but the biometric is public and that introduces other problems, whereas
Right.
this, so
is
there's a revocation.
Totally the other end.
Yeah.
This is like the heart of what you want to protect in your wallet. Okay, now we're going to show, again, Alice and Bob, let's show Alice and a car. This is an actual scenario, I understand. IBM did this with their mobile, IBM showed this at IBM Think 2 weeks ago. Your car, we're assuming it has an EKMS edge engine, and it can produce a QR code to say, yeah, if you're the owner of the car, show up, it produces that QR code, Alice scans it with her phone,
So there's a no trust connection. Like it's not
Right.
going to unlock just because you have a connection.
just says, hey, okay, you got a connection with the car. If you want to unlock it, the car says, oh, you've got to show me the credential that you have the title to that car, because it knows it was set up and programmed, so here's the title. Alice provides that as a verifiable credential. The car verifies, and in fact, the VIN number on that registration matches and unlocks the door. Okay?
All right, so they're gonna again do the same connection, handshake. They did previously. And this one's gonna look extremely similar to the previous one. So in this case, unlike the previous one, it wants the issuer to be a particular DID, so it's like I'm only going to accept from a government DMV agency or whoever gives out car titles, and all it wants, it doesn't want any other data other than the VIN from the car, so that it can check to see whether it's the car's VIN. It's done that. So that's the request. Alice again will send proof, both a primary proof of the claim and then also an authorization proof for the agent.
Does the proof include the issuer's bids?
Yep.
Okay. If I have multiple ones, like if I have like 3 banks that that I have certain accounts.
Then there'd be 2 levels of proof. That's what we're calling a trust hub and multiple trust anchors. And you would want a proof from the trust hub, from the trust anchor that they have a verifiable credential from the trust anchor. I mean the trust hub. So basically you say, okay, I'll take any VIN from any state licensing authority in this country. Right? You get one proof, here's a VIN from this licensing authority, and a second that licensing authority has a proof, has a credential from the trust hub.
We see this is the value that was revealed. That's and then the car would check to see, oh, that's my internal VIN number, so they must own me. I'll unlock the door.
How do you resell your car?
Say that again.
What happens when you resell your car?
So when you resell your car, the state would revoke your credential for the title and issue a new credential to whoever you transferred ownership to, and that car would stop.
And the new one has the same VIN for the same car, so the new owner can go up to the car and do exactly what just happened here, to prove they have the
So
credential.
this would allow the state to reassign ownership of your car in response to a court order.
Well, yeah,
State level.
yeah. It's like, and they
It's
can revoke your driver's license.
hypothetical. I don't know.
Yeah, that's-
It has some.
Is it today that you need to go to the state and re-rec? Like you cannot just sell your car first?
In the US, you have to,
Even if we don't use the car?
Yeah.
within a certain period of time, you have to,
Transfer
yeah,
title.
transfer title. It's actually surprising how long they will allow you to go that way.
Now, this means that the car has to be online, though, to check for revocation, does it not?
Yes, it would have to check with the ledger.
Yeah.
So.
You probably want an offline backup option.
Like a
Is there like airplane mode? Airplane mode, and then you already have like authorization, and then airplane mode, and then.
Great question. All right,
Well, you could have the car be like, if you don't turn it
Yeah.
back on every so
we have
often.
10 minutes left.
10 minutes.
And I think it would be really be cool to get through the social recovery scenario. So let's go ahead and do that. If you can, hold your questions until the end, and then we'll just do as many questions as we can. Okay, we're going to do 4 and 5 together here. So first, Alice is going to set up her trustees. Now again, social recovery is an M of N in the basic approach of sharding a recovery key. You, the owner, Alice, says what's the minimum number of keys I need to get back to recover, and then she can also determine what's the maximum number of trustees. It turns out the way it works is she sets that minimum, and she can keep adding as many trustees as she wants, but she's got to have at least as many as the minimum. In this case, we're saying she's got 3 trustees. She's got connections with each one to start the process. She sends them trustee invitations. And they each accept those trustee invitations to say, yes, I will agree to do that. Meanwhile, her edge agent is keeping a cloud backup. We're showing it out here. It could be maintained by our agency. It could be maintained in another location, but the point is you know where it is. And she then produces the recovery key and 3 shards, and she shares those with those 3. Now that means each of them they're encrypted with their key, so they're all maintaining, they're the trustee now of that shard. And so we're now going to go through. Why don't you just whip through? You can imagine this sort of web UI version of it. Let's go right to the code.
Okay. So they're now going to, Alice chooses Bob to be one of her trustees, sends an offer. So in this offer, she's giving him 2 capabilities, the ability to be a custodian of a recovery share, and then also revoke authorization. So we're giving Bob the ability to revoke her agent as a trustee.
So-
Those are optional, those are configurable, and that, we just chose these permissions for this demo, but I wouldn't say that this is like some spec or final thing. on
Is
that.
this just for, like, that recovery share that is actually some piece of data?
The recovery share is a Shamir secret share, so it's a piece of data that once Alice gets a certain number back, she can reconstitute
So
her.
this is
data.
not the share yet, this is the invitation
Yeah.
to become a trustee.
Okay.
So this is saying, I'd like you to do that, and she needs a few bits of information from him to actually do that, one of which is a key to put in her policy with the permission to revoke.
Okay.
And so, he agreed to it, and so Alice now has the choice to actually send the full data over, which includes the share that actually is what she'll use to recover later. So they will send that back, and Bob will finish up. He's done. He's now a trustee for the.
Typically, the experience would be your wallet app would say, hey, you've been asked by X to be a trustee. Yes or no?
Since we're doing a 2 of 3, we're just going to do the exact same with C Union, but it's identical to Bob, so there's nothing new here. So she'll do that. That completes, and then she went ahead and did it. She encrypted her data and put it out in the cloud as backup with the key that was Shamir's secret share. So that goes on to chapter 5.
All right. So, the final piece we're going to do here is recovery. Alice's phone is stolen. She needs to have that device revoked by one of her trustees, and then she needs to recover. She needs to get 2 of those 3 key shards back so she can restore herself on a new device. So Alice, again, it's stolen. She is now going to become recovery Alice. She literally is in a new mode until she has recovered. And that first step will be revocation, and then so she gets a new device, brand new wallet, again, gets a new cloud agent. We show the dotted line because this is a ephemeral. This is while she's in the recovery state, this is how it's set up. And the key to this is Alice is next going to go offline and contact her trustees. This is the circuit breaker, right? You actually have to show up either to a friend in person. You got to come in. It's really neat, right? The one thing trustees have to do is just make sure that if they're recovering, it's really you, right? This is why a lot of people, the fascinating BYU Internet Security Research Lab did a check on who do people trust to be trustees. And it was fascinating because some people, it's friends and family. Some people, it's institutions. The second and third on that list were banks or financial institutions and lawyers. You know what number 1 was? Far and away, more than anything else.
Mom.
I'll give you a hint. Their major headquarters about 2 blocks. Google.
They trust in Google?
It really is God now, I guess.
All right. That study's old. Okay, so what Alice is going to do, Alice is going to, she's going and telling, hey, I need to recover, and they're saying, okay, I'm going to send you a new connection, right? Just like this connection we were setting up earlier, okay? She gets that connection, she scans it, and she creates this, again, ephemeral connection with Bob, okay? And Bob says, okay, that's really, I know that's Alice, I'm going to authorize returning that, my shard, okay? Now she's going to do the same thing with C-Union. One of the things the credit unions are interested in, we've got branches. You can actually come in and scan a QR code and we can actually have a clerk assure it's really you, okay? Because you can't trust your family or friends to do that.
Yeah, so besides that in-person opportunity to kind of prove who you are, how else can you confirm that this is a legitimate request for the Shamir secret?
All kinds of ways.
If you don't have your ID,
right. obviously, we get a lot of questions about, well, isn't it going to be subject to phishing attacks, right? You're going to have folks come in and go, oh, I'm in South America, you know I'm on this trip, but in fact you actually know they're in South America, right? And it comes down to, who do you trust to be your trustees? And what do they have to know? It's like, is it really you, right? Like, call me back. Like, it should not be that hard, but if you choose badly on your trustees, well, what can we say? But again, the credit unions are saying, hey, we can do that. That's part of the service we should be offering to our members. And it should be a little harder to spoof than your grandmother. Anyway, she gets the 2 secrets back that she needs. That information also says, hey, where is that backup I can get on the cloud wallet, pull it down, and Alice becomes Alice again. She's whole. All right, we've only got like about 2 minutes left, so Devin's going to go through the last of the code here.
All right. So we're seeing this particular thing that we've been looking for Alice for the last few chapters, like that's stolen, and we're not going to use this process anymore. It's the thing that's been building stuff up. So we're going to switch over to Alice New. This is a completely different process and doesn't have any of the same keys or secrets or anything like that. All right. So first off, we're going to start with Bob. The first thing Bob's going to do is go ahead and revoke the device from.
Alice was given permission to Bob to revoke a device as a trustee, and she says, my phone's been stolen, turn it off.
Yeah. And so she'll actually contact the ledger, or Bob will contact the ledger and actually remove this from the policy.
Does Alice do that in person to Bob? Like Alice has to present personally to Bob?
It's however Alice and Bob have set up that trust relationship. Now, one thing you think, oh, it's really easy to spoof. Someone wants to, come in and, hey, say, I'm Alice's friend and her phone was stolen and she's, been in an accident and turn it off, right? Well, the worst that's going to happen is it's turned off and she has to get it turned back on if it was actually spoofed. You can't steal something.
So Bob's going to send an invitation to Alice.
Right, that same time, Alice says, hey, revoke my phone and give me a connection back so I can restore.
So she'll accept that, and then she's going to request from Bob the share that she had previously entrusted with him.
Right, she has to get the connection, and then she has to say, now give me my key back, my shard. And by the way, of course, the actual UX around this and the user ceremony is 10 times harder than the crypto. That's where...
it's not just a command line?
All right, so Bob's going to go ahead and send it back.
Want to know what I think is funny? All of, I would say 95% of all that crypto that's being exchanged out there from these wallets is command line. Right? It's like, whoa. Okay.
All right, so C Union's going to basically do a very similar dance with new Alice. So.
Right. Again, this might be in person, right? Their policy might be you have to show up and or send your family or your firstborn or whatever.
Alice will accept it.
Accepting the connection. Now getting the feedback.
I got to request the feedback.
Yes. You probably can see this ends happily in the code.
So after this is complete, does she reissue her recovery secrets to?
Yeah, she would.
Reissue a whole CD set of them because they've already been purchased.
Yeah, and that again is one of the things that her edge agent and the cloud agents can just take care of. That's why a lot of trust is going into the code. Interestingly, not a lot of trust is going into the agency that's hosting those cloud agents. The trust is going into those edge agents and that they're doing their job right. That's what we think to manage this.
And there's a lot of flexibility in the architecture design for how you actually want to set that up. You can do things that are more difficult to maybe spoof but are inconvenient to use, or you could try to go more convenient and maybe not as secure. You have some flexibility.
Where is the schema, the orders, the policy information that was added to the schema? Where is that? What spec is that in? Is that the consumer spec?
The structure of that would be in the DKMS spec. You have to have a ledger that supports it, like Sovrin's going to be doing that. So that's...
Is there more than the ledger? Isn't this in addition to the...
policy registry is on
the
it's
ledger.
established on the ledger, and you just have to have a standard way to locate and deal with that, sort of like a DID document. It's just another standard thing that's on the ledger.
Well,
Okay. Thank you everyone for coming. The next session is also going to be key management. Sam's going to be doing it. It's a whole other branch of how you would tackle it. And we're here, we're here through Devin and I.
if you have any more questions, you can
Yeah,
ask.
I'm happy to discuss it in more detail.
Yeah, so that would be replicated across all your edge devices?
Yes, and how we're doing it right now, although we're trying to imagine ways to make that less of an issue. Yeah. Because we're trying very hard not to share.
Yeah, that's Daniel talked about that. Not sharing between
So we're trying. I mean, we're not in the research. We're trying to figure out ways of downplaying the importance of the legal secret. And part of this authorization stuff with the agent is one of those efforts to push it. Where it's like where the link secret's only one part you need. You also need to have your agent authorized.
Do you mind moving over?
Essentially, you make the link secret is becoming the new ID. You just push DIDs to relationships, and you have to establish something behind it.
Yeah, except that you never actually give anybody your.
Yeah, it's like your sort of ephemeral, sort of like it's like this abstract IDs for yourself.
It's a secret about yourself that you prove you know, but you never actually.
But that's the
reveal.
identifying binder. So it functions like your ID, your private held ID.
Yeah.
So essentially, if that is really an ID that links your identity together, would you recommend an agency like store that in an encrypted form, or not store that at all? Because it does help them, like an agency, keep track of its users, so to speak.
Yeah, you would never want. I mean, the way we're thinking, you'd never want your agency to know your link secret, so it stays out on the edge.
So not even the agency knows all the DIDs that make up a specific, and the credentials that make up a specific identity. So I don't really know, if an agency doesn't really know how many, so an agency doesn't really know how many
it's one of those things where it's like, it's really hard probably to truly prevent the agency from like correlating because they, they know things about you,
See
but
which IP address.
we're thinking about that, but that's a really hard problem because they just know so much, but ultimately, you probably have to trust your agency a little bit, but we're trying to see how little we can trust them and have things still work.
Yeah.
Because right now in the world, like you have to trust them with everything. Of course. We're trying to how much back can we bring it and things still function?
Right.
It's like maybe
because we're building an agency right now, and that's a big question of like, because that helps us know like literally how many users are we doing have. Right. Because otherwise it's just a set of DIDs and wallets, and you're just helping users manage them, but you don't know who your users actually are, how many there are.
And
it's I guess it's similar to like cryptocurrency wallets like blockchain.info. Like you can see how many accounts have been created, but like maybe one person owns 100 accounts.
Sure.
Might not.
And it's like, it's a little bit of a different world to think about where like I don't know as much about my users because I'm trying to respect their privacy.
I see.
It's a different model. You got to figure out different ways of gleaning. Because like you want to know who your users are to provide a good UX, but you also want to respect them. And it's like it's a hard balance.
Yeah, and also like users can always provide information other ways. Like if you really want to keep track, like ask them for their email.
Sure.
Like you can still use traditional identifiers and just map it to some DID that you know through this relationship. You can always store that, but you have to define that in your terms.
Right. I just want to be careful that the weak point doesn't become now it's the agency. Like now all the functionality of Sovrin is there, but then the weak point is the agency, so it's as good as our cloud provider.
Yeah, so that's something I'm also interested in. Like, what happens when if you have like Byzantine failures of agencies, where they, either just like they shut down, or they like become actively malicious for some reason. Is there a way to just use your edge agent to like revoke the access and then create a new one?